Good morning, Boker Tov, everyone. The opening of this week's Torah portion talks about the census taken of the Jewish people by each Jew contributing a half of shekel and then counting all the half shekels to know how many Jews there were, teaching us that Jews are counted through their contributions. But when the Torah talks about the census, the Torah says, Ki Tisa et Rosh Bnei Yisrael, when you elevate the heads of the children of Israel. And the reason our rabbis explain why the census is described as elevating the heads of the children of Israel is because sometimes when you count people, it can devalue them. You're just a number. Sometimes we use statistics and we say, well, 99%, but what about the other 1%? It's like the story a guy comes to his doctor and the doctor says you need a surgery, and 9 out of 10 patients survive the surgery. And by the way, you're the 10th patient I've had this year. It doesn't matter what the statistics are. Each person is a world unto themselves, like the story of the father and the son walking along the beach, and there are thousands of starfish that were washed ashore, and the father's picking up one at a time and throwing it into the ocean. And the son says, Dad, what difference does it make? You can't save all these thousands of starfish. And the father picks up another starfish, throws it back in and says, well, to this one, it makes all the difference in the world. So the Torah says, even though we're taking a census, realize that each person is an entire world unto themselves. Raise up the heads of the children of Israel. Elevate them in the process of counting them. However, there's another beautiful Hasidic interpretation that says as follows. If you take the 3 letters of head in Hebrew, Rosh, and you elevate it to the next higher letter, the Resh is followed by a Shin. The Aleph of Rosh is followed by a Bet. And the Shin of Rosh is followed by a Taf. Which means that the letter above Rosh, Resh, Aleph, Shin, the 3 letters are Shin, Bet, Taf, which spells Shabbat. How do you elevate the Jewish people? Through the day of Shabbat. The day of Shabbat has always been the day that has elevated us as individuals, as families, as communities, and as a people. A day that we have higher spiritual pursuits, that we think about God and our fellow man and our families and what's important in life. We stop the hustle bustle and the grind of day-to-day life of the rat race. As someone said, the problem with the rat race is even if you win, you're still a rat. Shabbat gives you a spiritual perspective of life for the coming week. It elevates the entire week ahead. That's the goal of Shabbat, to elevate the heads of the Jewish people. As Echad Ha'am famously said, more than the Jewish people have kept Shabbat, Shabbat has kept the Jewish people. The Chafetz Chaim gives the analogy of Shabbat because unfortunately some people say, well, how can I take off a day of work? I'm going to lose money, I'm going to lose income and livelihood. So the Chafetz Chaim says, imagine a person has an urn filled with very expensive wine, and there are 6 spouts around the urn. And he says, you know what, I want to get more wine. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make a 7th spout. Says the Chafetz Chaim, it may seem like he's getting more wine because it's flowing from 7 spouts. But at the end of the day, he'll have the same amount of wine. So too, the Chafetz Chaim says, everyone has a designated set amount of blessings that God reserved for them. And by working 7 days a week, you're not going to have any more blessings. At the end of the day, you're going to receive the same amount. God could give you your blessings in 6 days. You don't have to work the 7th day. So take the day of Shabbat off. Rest, rejoice, celebrate with your family, with your community, with Hashem. Study extra Torah, pray more, and focus on what is really important in life, which is to elevate yourself, your family, and the Jewish people, and through us, the entire world.